Hi, I'm Emerald the Quilter. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to share with you the updates I've made to my sewing room, my plans for 2023, and I'm going to share the progress I've made on my whips. I have a quilt to show you and 2 pieces of cross stitch. So let's get started by taking a look around the room, and I'm going to show you exactly what I've done. Moments before I started cleaning, I took a moment to just record the state of my sewing room. So there's stuff everywhere. It's completely disorganized. I have a lot to look through, and it took me a few hours to get cleaned up, and I didn't even finish. This area of my sewing room had the biggest change. I focused on the wall space and the quilts that I had hanging up. I also added the very large quilt that you can see right above the ironing board, and I used a hang it dang it that I got for Christmas. This one holds quilts sizes 35 inches to 63 inches and no heavier than 40 pounds. So the sampler quilt that I have up there was perfect. I just spent one evening adding a sleeve to it, and I used an invisible thread to add it because I originally did not have a sleeve attached to that. And so let's come in a little closer. The butterfly, I kept the same. I added my patriotic quilt above my ironing area, and I still need to take my surge protector that's back here. Let's see if you can see it. Right there. And move it over to the right over here so that I can access that on and off button much easier. Then I changed out my quilts on my quilt rack. I added my favorite fabric designer quilts. Not all of these quilts have patterns by Edita Sitar of Laundry Basket Quilts, but I do have quilts with her fabrics up here. And so I have Chickens by Cluck Cluck Sew, a scrappy Alaska quilt, and then I forget what this one was called, but this little one up here was a sew along that she did, making one of the house quilts into a mini version. So those are now displayed. And then I moved this tree quilt up above my cubby space and just kind of scooted those items around. So that is the biggest change that I've made, the wall space. Oh, and then I do have one cross stitch added to the sewing room that I will show you right now. This cross stitch was originally on the wall, and it was along the stairs, so as I would come up here to my sewing room, I would see it. It says where home is where the cat is, and this was started by my grandma years ago, and I inherited after she passed, and I finished it for her. And so I made the cat look like my cat Hobbs. And then I also brought this stocking pattern over here because it was originally hanging on the twine, but I had to take that down to make room for the hang it dang it quilt. I'm sure you noticed the blocks that were originally hanging along with my stocking are now up on my design board, my design wall, and they are stunning. I decided to stop here with these blocks. These blocks are from the Lady Tulip quilt, and I was making a scrappy version. and I stopped because I really want to try to get the whips that I have done this year. And I think I had like 30 something, and then I needed 5 or 6 more, and so I added some orphan blocks from my scraps that I had, and I just added them here, and they happen to work out really nicely. So I am currently looking for sashing, since they are from all sorts of fabric collections: Super Bloom, Bed of Roses, and just others that I don't even remember. So this was really just a scrappy quilt that I was using the Lady Tulip quilt pattern for. So the next time I'll see you, I will completely organize this drawer here. This is the sort of parts and tools drawer, whoops, that I have for my quilting, and this is a part of my scrap cabinet. And I may also sort of go through these, I may not, I'm not sure yet, but definitely I will organize this one. And then the closet, which I'm going to show you just a peek of. Okay, here's the closet that I was scared to show you in the last video. So we're gonna take a quick peek, and if you really wanna see the disaster I have, you're gonna have to pause the video. So the last bit of progress that I've made to my sewing room has been my bookshelf of quilts. I took the quilts that were hanging on the rack, brought them up here, folded them. I cleared off some of the things that were on that middle shelf and put them in the closet. And I think I also found a couple other quilts that were downstairs and brought them up. And I have a new addition to my knickknacks. This cute little giraffe and a llama that's hidden back there. So he's really cute. And I also tidied up my recliner. That's usable now, which is great. And you can see back in this left corner, I still have a mess. So that's one area that I'm gonna have to get to next. So there you have it. I've done quite a few things around here, and I still have a long ways to go. I hope you enjoyed looking at the updates I made in my sewing room. I know it's not done, I still have work to do, but little by little I'll get there. And most importantly, I hope it inspires you to tidy up and rearrange your sewing space so that it's a place that helps you get done what you love doing. So now I'm going to share with you my plans for 2023. We're going to zoom in here. And other than working on the perfect 5 quilts that I really want to get done, this is what I have sort of thought out. So I want to use what I have. Collections, I have a lot of collections. Some collections have backgrounds and backings for, so I don't need to be buying more of that. And I definitely don't need to be buying new kits. So something I would like to finish are my horse and sheep cross stitch, which I'm going to show you today. The stitching is done, but they're not framed yet, so that needs framing. I would like to start my Milk and Cream Company stitching, and a Scrappy September from 2021 needs binding, so I need to do that. I would like to quilt and bind my dot 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 quilt. This is a project that my husband and I started doing a couple years ago, little by little, and it is actually pin basted, so I would like to get that done by this summer. I would also like to finish a towel that I started and finish the Scrappy Lady Tulip quilt top that you saw on my design wall. Definitely make an Easter basket for my son and continue working on the whips in my rolling basket and cubby so that I can focus on reducing the whips that I have. And then last but not least, we have a baby in the family on the way. Not my baby, but I'm so excited, and so I need to make a baby quilt. So those are my plans for 2023. We'll see how well I do. And again, I'm trying to focus this year on using what I have. I have here the quilt I finished. This was the Summer Mystery Quilt of 2022 called Montana, and it was a sew along done with Edits a Sitar of Laundry Basket Quilts. I made my Montana quilt in scrappy blues with her fabrics that I had, and I made a scrappy back. Now, all I really needed to do, because it had been mostly done, was finish the binding. And I'm glad I did, because it's been about, I don't know, maybe 3 to 6 months, and I can finally display it around my house. And it's just one less thing that is in my rolling basket of whips. So that basket is shrinking, and so excited. So here is my quilt I finished. Here are my cross stitch finishes. This is the little horse I stitched. He's so cute. And my sheep. So those are done. There's the back in case you wanted to see. Here's the back of the horse. I mostly keep it pretty clean back there. And these are from the Bee in My Bonnet Lori Holt stitch cards. So this one are, and I'm showing this because I have the threads and I'm planning to use them for the Milk and Cream Company cross stitch, but these are ones that I've already done. And these here are the set that I'm trying to finish. So I am using these floss colors for my Milk and Cream, along with the Be Basics Happy DMC floss colors by Lori Holt to start this pattern. So I'm going to pull those flosses, and I hadn't put them away yet. I put them in the jar, but I didn't take them off of the ring that they were on. And those are labeled. So instead of trying to figure out, you know, what is the exact color for what's listed here in the pattern, I'm just going to make them happy colors with the floss that I have that is already Lori Holt approved based on these that I already own. So these are the frames that I plan to use for my horse and sheep. And you can see that my little piggy, he hangs in my kitchen. And I think I finished this last year sometime. It's from Hobby Lobby. I went to Hobby Lobby and they were out of this frame. Here's my cow. And the cow, I think, is my favorite of all four. And the horse is definitely a close second, along with that pig. I don't know which one's my favorite between these two. But I love this frame. It's like a little clip on here, and it just fits perfectly. So they're 11 bucks. And when you go and get them on sale, you know, pretty cheap for 2. So I just need 2 more, and I'll have to make another trip out back to Hobby Lobby to find them again. So those are my cross stitch whips that need finishing. And here is the panel for the basket. I plan on making for my son. This is the Easter basket, and I think there's a colored version of this. Let's see. I love the instructions. Here it is. So that's what it's supposed to look like. It's a basket made of plushy bunnies and a braided handle. So I don't know how long that's gonna take me, but right now it's March. I have some time to do it. It's not a whole quilt, so I'm determined to get this done. And I'm thinking, but I'm not 100% sure, that I want to use this quilt pattern by the Pattern Basket called Country Bunnies for the baby that's coming in the family. And I have a couple of months to work on that. This pattern calls for 16 bunnies, but I think I will only be making maybe 9 bunnies. So instead of making this 4x4, I'll probably make it 3x3 or 2x2, depending on how big the bunnies get and the sashing. So I need to pick out fabric for this, take a look at what I have in my stash, and then deeply consider this one. So it's either going to be this or it'll have to be something else. But that is what I have going on right now. That's what I've done. So as soon as I've made a decision on that baby quilt, I will let you know, because I'm planning on doing a video on how to make a baby quilt using any pattern. And even if I don't use that one, I've got a hefty stash of Moda fabrics, and a nice chunk in here are fig tree fabrics, which would be beautiful for a baby quilt. So there's some yellows and some blues and florals. So I've got a lot in here to work with. I'm going to use what I have. And so let me know in the comments below if you think Country Bunnies would be good, or if you have another pattern in mind that maybe you have used before that would be a great baby quilt. So that was everything I had to show you today. Thank you for stopping by and joining me in my sewing room. Remember to like and subscribe if you like my videos, and I will see you next time. Bye!